contacted me about this performance opportunity, I was like, Jerry Pinkney, all right, I love his work. I grew up reading those books. And then I was like, resiliency? I don't have any of that. That's what my partner said. So I asked them about it. I was like, what would you say a story that I have about resiliency is? And they were like, just go up on stage, do a little spin for them. But that's not a good story. Yeah, so some might say, like, my existence as a non-binary trans person exhibits resilience. I don't feel that, you know? It's hard to feel resilient sometimes. From the inside. You just do it. You just make art because you have to. You just take the next step in your transition to the person you need to become because you have to. This is a picture of me when I was about 10 years old with my very nice family behind me. I was a little bit of a badass kid. And this is when we were living in Spain. When I was 10 years old. My mom's a professor, so when she would have sabbaticals, we would always go to Spanish-speaking places so me and my brother could learn Spanish. That was very important to my papi. And in Spain, we went to this awful bilingual boarding school. Not boarding. Thank God it was not boarding school. It was just a private school. By bilingual, it was semi-bilingual. And by that I mean that when the teachers wanted us to pay attention, they would say, cállate and shut up! Their kids were really mean. The metric system was really confusing. But the worst part of it for me was this policy that they had in the cafeteria, that you had to finish 80% of the food on your plate before you could go out to recess. And I have this memory of a teacher holding my nose and shoving food in my mouth when I would open my mouth to breathe. So they were real serious about it. They had a lot of arbitrary rules like that, but the ironic thing about this rule is that it really triggered my eating disorder that manifested a couple of years later. I can definitely pinpoint it to the disgusting flounder, really bony, and the super acidic lentil stew that they forced me to eat so that I could go out to recess. Most days I would sit in the cafeteria through recess, through siesta hour, and into the first afternoon classes. So they clearly had their priorities straight with how we were learning. Anyway, enough about Rincon Añoreta. So when I got back to the States in 5th grade, I started hiding in the library during lunch. And then in 6th grade, I moved to a new school where we brought bag lunches, and I would pack my own lunch, and I would pack maybe an apple, a cheese stick, and a fruit leather, and then I would give those things away when I got to school. My parents made elaborate dinners every night. My mom baked dessert every night. And this was terror for me. I would give myself these tiny portions and then push the food around on my plate, hoping they would think that I had eaten it. And that really bothered my mom. It was the only thing about my behavior regarding food that seemed to actually bother her throughout this years-long period was that when I would have small portions. So I switched up my tactic. I would eat the food she gave me, and then I would sneak off to the bathroom to throw it all up. And this continued for 5, 6, 7 years. I remember the feeling in my stomach when I was hungry, and how when I would eat, that feeling went away and I began to crave it. So I would crave the scratchy feeling as if someone has taken a Brillo pad to the inside of my stomach. And I began to really want to feel that all the time. It functions a lot like any other addiction, but the addiction is to not eating. And the truth is, there was no amount of starving myself that would make me feel like my body was mine. I learned years later in therapy that for transmasculine folks, eating disorders are quite common because it is one way that body dysmorphia can manifest. Not feeling like your body is your own. I think it's probably something that in this culture, many people with female experience have a feeling of your body not being your own, like it is only for other people to look at. How does one claim one's own body? I don't remember when I stopped having an eating disorder. I don't remember there being a moment that I decided to put food in my mouth consistently and keep it down. What I remember is just realizing one day that I hadn't thrown up in a while, and that I felt okay about that. Now I do other things to help me feel like my body is mine. I don't hurt myself anymore. I make little puppets that I wear around. I take testosterone. I work out. I make theater that invokes the stories of my trans ancestors and helps me feel like their stories are also in the room. I grow a penis sometimes and use it. And living my best life. Thank you.